Judge, for scheduling reasons, I'm going to be calling Mr. Mescalado and Ms. Pino initially, and then I'll call the police officers. But I figure they're going to be here.
See if we can zoom past some of this. I don't know what they're doing.
The vote is going to be ready to be sworn.
Please solemnly swear from the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You may have a seat, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Could you please introduce yourself to the members of the jury?
Good afternoon. My name is Andrew Mescalado.
What is it that you do for a living?
I'm a maritime attorney.
How long have you worked in that type of field in law?
It will be 20 years this September.
Okay. Are you a sole practitioner, or do you work with other attorneys?
No, I'm a partner at the law firm of Furtick & Gramling. We're located in Fort Lauderdale.
About how many attorneys are in that firm?
We have 3 partners, including myself, and 4.5 associates.
And a half?
A woman that works part-time.
Gotcha.
That was a
I would
weird
like to ask if you and your firm were
way of saying
retained
that.
to defend George Pino and his wife Cecilia Pino in regard to a lawsuit filed by the parents of Katerina, also known as Katy Puig.
We were retained for that lawsuit, but we were involved before the Puig's lawsuit against the Pinos.
Understood. But you did in fact represent George and Cecilia Pino
I'm
in conjunction with that
surprised
lawsuit?
Yes.
that this is
Do you
allowed.
see George Pino in the courtroom today?
Yes, I do.
Can you please point to him and describe what he's wearing?
He's the gentleman on my right side of the defense table with the blue blazer and blue tie.
Pardon me?
Please do it.
Mr. Mescalado, could you tell us, do you, in the course of your practice, engage in a process called discovery?
Yes.
Could you explain what is discovery?
So one area of my practice is representing persons in civil lawsuits. And the rules of court in Florida allow for certain activities in litigation, whether you're the plaintiff or the defendant, to better understand the issues raised by the adverse party. And to gather information, you would need to discuss settlement or prepare the case for trial. So the rules of civil procedure allow for, in simple terms, written discovery where you're sending certain kinds of papers to the adverse party. And they also allow for live testimony in terms of a deposition. They allow for medical examinations of people that have injuries. There's various tools you can use to prepare your client's case for trial.
Are interrogatories one of those tools?
Yes, the written discovery I was describing includes interrogatories.
Okay. Can you describe for the jurors what is an interrogatory?
It sounds technical, but very simple. It's a list of written questions that your attorney sends to the opposing party, asking questions about liability issues, damage issues, other information that's pertinent to the case. So the questions are sent. The party that receives them has 30 days to read them, object, or answer under oath or under penalty of perjury.
In the course of your representation of Mr. and Mrs. Pino, did you receive from the Puig's attorney a list of those questions, also known as interrogatories?
Yes, we received 2 sets of interrogatories from the attorneys for the Puigs. One was directed to Mr. Pino, and the second set was directed to Mrs. Pino.
In order to answer those interrogatories, did you have to communicate respectively with Mr. Pino and Mrs. Pino?
Yes.
And is that because you were not there at the time the subject of the lawsuit occurred, specifically a vessel crash that occurred on September 4th of 2022?
In part, yes.
Now, in order to answer a question as to how the crash happened, did you have to rely on information from your clients?
In part, yes.
And did you tell your clients that the answers that they would give on these interrogatories had to be truthful under the penalties of perjury?
Yes.
I'm going to show you two exhibits which are in evidence. And they are States Exhibits 13 and 12. Are these the interrogatories that you responded to, respectively, as to number 12, George Pino, and 13, Cecilia Pino?
Yes, these look to be the interrogatories.
Thank you. I have no other questions.
No questions, Your Honor.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State your next witness, please.
Your Honor, was able to call Cecilia Pino?
And you can select the phone. Thank you.
Do you solemnly swear from the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? You may have a seat, sir.
Please keep your voice loud and clear into the microphone is formed. Just give it a minute.
Okay, got it. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Could you please introduce yourself to the members of the jury?
Yes, my name is Cecilia Pino, and I'm the wife. Sorry, my name is Cecilia Pino, and I'm the wife of George Pino.
Do you live in Miami?
I do.
How long have you lived in Miami?
My whole life.
You're how old?
I am 51.
I'm surprised this is allowed.
Do you work?
I work with my husband.
Okay, what kind of work or business are you on?
Real estate,
What is the name of your real estate agency?
State Street Realty.
What kind of real estate? Is it residential? What kind of?
It's commercial real estate.
Judge, I can't hear very well.
Oh, sorry, commercial real estate.
Thank you. Thank you. I think you're yelling. It's okay.
Now, I know you said that you're married to George Pino. Is he in this courtroom right now?
Yes.
Okay, you see your man. Can you identify him with the
Yes.
part of his clothing?
Blue tie, blue shirt, and a suit.
Okay.
So do it.
All right, so.
And your husband, he's the CEO of that real estate agency?
Yes.
And you are in charge of the community relations, something along those lines?
Community relations and
How
sales
is-
associate as well.
Okay. And your
Oh, shit.
father-in-law, is he
I
the
just
chief
realized.
financial officer for that agency?
Yes.
And what exactly is the work that your husband does?
He sells real estate. He leases and sells real estate,
What kind of real estate?
commercial real estate.
Okay. Has he been able to work since the time of this crash?
He goes in and he's working to the best that he can.
Okay. And does he actually have properties listed under his name as the selling agent?
There are several selling agents on all the listings.
But is he one of the listed agents on?
Yes, he is.
Does your husband drive a car?
Yes.
And has he been able to drive since the time of the crash on September 4th of 2022?
Yes, he drives.
Has your husband traveled internationally in December of 2022?
No.
I'm not sure how this is
Internationally,
relevant.
Did you go out of the country at any time after the vessel crash on September 4th, 2022?
We have gone out of the country.
Okay. To where?
We went, my daughter studied abroad and we went to Spain to visit her.
And when was that?
I believe it was March of 24.
Did you travel in December of 2022?
We did.
Where?
To Seaside, Florida.
To where?
Seaside, Florida.
Where's that?
The Panhandle of Florida. We're near Pensacola.
And what was the purpose of that trip?
We went on a vacation.
I want to call your attention to the Labor Day weekend of 2022. Was there a birthday party celebration for your younger daughter?
Yes.
And she was going to be turning 18, is that right?
Yes.
How many girls were invited to attend the festivities over that weekend?
There were, including my daughter, 12 girls.
Okay. Where were they supposed to stay for that weekend?
We rented a house that we all stayed in.
Okay. Was this house like a mansion?
No.
Can you describe to the best of your ability what it looked like?
It was a typical normal house. It had about three bedrooms and bathrooms.
Okay. Did you guys have inflatable mattresses for some of the girls?
I believe we did, yes.
Was there a party planned for Sunday night of September the 4th of 2022?
Yes.
And was that supposed to be at a place called The Point?
Yes.
Who coordinated that party?
My husband did.
Were you involved in the planning or paying for that party?
No.
Before that party, did you and your husband take these 12 girls, including your daughter, out onto Biscayne Bay?
Yes, we did.
I have an exhibit here. It states exhibit number 8 in evidence. Can you take a look and tell me if this list represents the people that went out that weekend on the boat with you and your husband, including you and your husband?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
And aside from you and your husband, were any of these people over the age of 21?
No,
When you went out into Biscayne Bay that day, was this the first time your husband had ever operated that boat?
no,
Had you ever operated that boat?
yes.
On that day, on September the 4th of 2022, can you tell the jurors, did you operate that boat?
No, I did not.
Who was the only person that operated the boat on September 4th of 2022?
My husband.
Did you serve as a lookout either on the way out toward Billy's Point or on the way back?
I don't remember.
Was there a cooler on your boat that had alcoholic drinks that afternoon?
There was.
Did you film a video that afternoon of the girls singing and dancing along to the song Uptown Girl?
I don't remember the song, but I did film the girls dancing and singing.
Showing council states exhibits 2G and 2H for identification. Mrs. Pino, showing you states 2G and 2H for identification.
Yes.
Do you recognize what these photographs represent?
Yes.
Are these accurate photographs of what a bottle of Chambord and what a bottle of Prosecco looks like?
Yes.
The state moves 2G and 2H for identification and evidence.
No additional objections.
State Exhibit 2G, previously marked identification, will become State Exhibit number 20, and 2H, 21.
And to be clear, state's exhibit number 20 is a bottle of Chambord.
Correct.
What is Chambord?
It's a liqueur.
What kind of flavor does it have?
Like a berry flavor, I think.
Okay. And then state's exhibit number 21, a bottle of Prosecco.
Correct.
Is that kind of like champagne?
Yes.
Do you ever combine Prosecco with Chambord?
Yes.
Did you on September 4th, 2022, while out at the sandbar?
I did. I had in a Yeti. I put some Prosecco and a little splash of Chambord.
Okay. And how many of those did you consume?
I had one or two.
Okay.
I was sitting here talking
Now showing
and
you state's exhibit
totally
number
had my
10
mic muted.
in evidence. Do you recognize the girls in this photograph?
I do.
Are these the girls that were on your boat, with the exception of Mia, who took the photograph? Are these all the girls that were on your boat?
Yes.
They were all about 17, right?
Yes.
Do you know how it is that your husband wound up smashing into channel marker 15?
The accident, how it occurred?
How did he wind up crashing into it?
I do not know.
Why not?
I was looking at my phone trying to send a text to the moms, a video of the video of the girls dancing. I was trying to send it to the moms, and I remember looking at the
Oh,
blue
this is
line
gonna
and
be
being
rough.
upset and frustrated that it wasn't going through the text, and I was looking at my phone.
I'm showing you now state's exhibit number 1. Who is this?
Lucy.
And she died because your husband crashed into that channel marker, right?
She died because there was an accident.
I asked you if she died because he collided with the channel marker.
I'm going to object to argument.
And he,
No other questions?
Just need a brief sidebar? Very good.
All right, let's see if we can. What did we go to sidewalk for?
the accident, how it occurred?
How did he wind up crashing into it?
I do not know.
Why not?
I was looking at my phone trying to send a text to the moms, a video of the video of the girls dancing. I was trying to send it to the moms, and I remember looking at the blue line and being upset and frustrated that it wasn't going through the text, and I was looking at my phone.
I'm showing you now state's exhibit number 1. Who is this?
Lucy.
And she died because your husband crashed into that channel marker, right?
She died because there was an accident.
I asked you if she died because he collided with the channel marker.
I'm going to object to argument.
And he,
No other questions?
Close.
Just need a brief sidebar? Very good.
I think he's smiling a little bit at his wife. Yeah. She did the same thing. So what do y'all think so far? What's y'all's opinion? I'm still not convinced that he was driving.
No questions at this time.
Okay.
So there's no cross-examination, and the witness will be under subpoena.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you, Your Honor. Okay, thank you.
So I guess the defense is going to call her back later.
State you may call the next witness.
So she can't sit in the courtroom.
I'm sorry, I just need to find my papers. I don't know.
Take a moment.
I think they're calling another police officer.
Peter Delgado, please. Sergeant Peter Delgado.
Yeah. If I knew how to do stuff on this, I totally would. But I don't know how, so. Do you not know how to,
So please step forward.
like,
Step
put
forward.
who's
These officers from the testimony about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
testifying?
Yeah, I see, sir.
Next, sir, keep your voice loud, please. You're giving for yelling. Okay, microphone's this way, the jury's out. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Could you please introduce yourself to the jurors?
Good afternoon. My name is Peter Delgado. I'm a sergeant with the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office. Pardon my voice. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How long have you worked for the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office?
I've worked for the Sheriff's Office for 10 years now.
All 10 of those years have it been called the Sheriff's Office?
No, ma'am.
Can you explain to the jurors what the change was?
Yes, ma'am. We recently had a transition from the Miami-Dade Police Department to the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office. In 1961, we were a Sheriff's Office. We became a police department, and we are now a Sheriff's Office again.
Okay. Has that transition changed the type of work that you do as police agency?
No, ma'am. We still have all the same functions.
Can you tell the jurors what is your current position within the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office?
Yes, ma'am. My current position is Sergeant of South District. I'm one of the supervisors in the south end of the county. It's the largest area in Miami-Dade County. Been a supervisor now for 1 month down there.
And when did you become a sergeant?
May 11th.
Okay, well, congratulations on your promotion. What is it that you were doing prior to becoming a sergeant?
So my prior assignment, I was assigned to the Marine Patrol Unit Underwater Recovery Team.
And how long did you work in that capacity?
6 years.
Okay. Now I want to ask you, what is your day-to-day life like now as opposed to what it was when you were with the dive squad?
Yes, ma'am. My current assignment now is to supervise road patrol officers, ensuring that they're doing their duties as officers. Paperwork, mostly administrative, handling complaints, making sure reports are turned in on time, and that arrest affidavits are correct.
You were in, forgive me, what is the name of the unit that you're in again?
The currently or before?
Current, pardon me, prior.
The Underwater Recovery Team, Marine Patrol Unit.
Okay. Is it fair to shorthand it with Marine Patrol?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When did you go into that agency or that part of your agency?
I believe it was November 2019.
Before that, what were you doing?
I was a road patrol officer in the Hammocks District of the Miami-Dade Police Department.
So were you one of the officers that you now are tasked with supervising?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What is it that fostered your transition from working as a road patrol officer to going into the Marine Patrol?
I had a passion for diving as a child. I became a police officer like my father. We had a dive shop when we were growing up, and I was able to mix both professions into one.
Could you tell the members of the jury what kind of tasks were you called upon to do when you were in the Marine Patrol unit?
My primary day-to-day tasks as a Marine Patrol officer was evidence searches, vehicle searches and recovery, unfortunately person recoveries, article searches, anything of value that a bad guy would throw in the water, we would go search for.
I want to ask if on September 4th of 2022, were you working as a Marine Patrol officer?
Yes, I was.
Did you receive a call to go out to an area of Biscayne Bay where a boat crash had occurred?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember about what time of the day it was that you got that call?
It was noontime, later in the afternoon, around 6:30, 7 o'clock approximately.
Where were you when you got that call?
I was at Black Point Marina.
Is there a police station of sorts there?
Yes, sir. So Marine Patrol has 3 operational offices. Black Point Marina has 1, Matheson Hammock Marina, and Pelican Marina.
Are you the only person that's at that location, Black Point Marina, when this call comes in?
No, ma'am.
Were there other officers that you go with to this call?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, because you were a member of the underwater recovery team, would it be normal for you to go out on a call like this?
Yes, due to the fact that, we are boat operators as well.
Got it. So who, if anyone, do you get on a police patrol boat with once you get that call?
I got on the vessel with, at the time, Officer Bobby Bruto and I believe Thomas Kennedy.
What was the staffing like for that weekend?
That weekend, it was because it was a holiday weekend. We usually have all personnel working, so it was a little bit more beefed up than usual.
Even if it took a while to ultimately get to the scene where help was needed, did you ultimately make contact with a person that you later learned was named Luciana or Lucy Fernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you describe for the jury, where was that location?
It was on the scene of a boat crash, marker 15 at Cutter Bank.
Sergeant, I'm showing you state's exhibit number 2, which is in evidence. Do you see a series of green dots on this?
Yes, ma'am.
Do those dots represent the general area of Cutter Bank?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, may to step down for a moment, please.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you be able to point out using this chart the approximate location where you and Officer Bruto wound up responding?
The area was approximately here.
Can you describe for the jurors what's happening when you get to that location? What do you see?
Upon arrival via vessel, we observed the medical helicopter, Miami-Dade Fire helicopter, dropping down a paramedic, I guess with some sort of harness. I don't know exactly what the terminology would be for it, and several vessels with people on board.
Are you familiar with the police term to arrive on a 3?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain to the jurors what does it mean to arrive on a 3?
Yes, ma'am. To arrive on a 3, Code 3 Miami-Dade County is there is a high priority emergency, which means arrive with lights and sirens.
Was the police boat that you were on equipped with emergency lights?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you guys use sirens too on boats?
We do have sirens.
Can you describe, once you arrive there, do you see a person that is having CPR performed on her?
Yes, ma'am. It was a very chaotic scene. A lot of people everywhere. Once we got up to the boat that the bystanders that were attempting to help were on, and we identified that they were actually doing CPR on Lucy Fernandez, we went boat to boat and began to board the vessel to render aid.
Once you get onto the vessel where Lucy's at and CPR is being performed on her, are you all able to put her on a backboard?
Once we board the vessel, yes, we did.
What is the importance of having a backboard for something like that?
The importance, especially out in the water on a trauma victim, is for stabilization of the patient. It's to make sure that if she has any injury that we cannot see, especially to her spine, nervous system, brain, to try to contain it as much as possible because we don't want to hurt her.
Can you describe the process by which you actually strap somebody to the backboard?
Yes, the backboard has several straps, and we do cross-body strapping to the victim to make sure that they're secure.
Do you have to tuck in their arms?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you do that?
We try to cross them across her chest temporarily, just to make sure that we don't cause any more injury or entrap them while we're moving them.
Once Lucy is placed onto the backboard, are you and your coworkers able to transfer her from the Good Samaritan boat onto a police boat?
Yes, ma'am.
Was it the same police boat that you had arrived on?
No, I think it was a different vessel. At that point, it was a larger vessel.
Do you know an officer by the name of German Alec?
Yes, ma'am.
Was he there at that scene?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he have a boat that was a little bit bigger than the one that you and Officer Bruto had been on?
Yes, ma'am. The Officer Bruto and myself responded in what we call an 850 Impact, which is a soft collar boat with 2 engines. Officer German Alec at the time responded with a triple engine Contender. It's about 35 feet long.
Is it a bigger boat?
It has a lot more room in the back to perform our duties.
Is it a faster boat?
Yes, it is.
Now, what was the weather conditions like that afternoon going into the early evening hours?
It was a light chop in the bay. It was a pleasant day for the most part. A little bit of chop in the bay.
Even if you're
So I thought the bay was, I thought earlier testimony, the bay was, let me think how to word this. The bay was like calm. It was a great day. And this officer is testifying that it was choppy. I mean, that could play a role in the boat's motion. We'll see where we go from here.
on a larger vessel like a Contender, and the seas are relatively calm, if you're speeding through the waters, is it going to be bumpy?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you describe?
So while you're moving underway, especially as you're picking up speed, you're going to go over chop, and that's going to cause vibration and movement in the vessel. Especially when you're trying to get on plane, the waves are heading further back, so you're still receiving impact and motion on the vessel.
What do you mean when you're on plane?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
When on plane, it means that your vessel is almost at the best running angle and speed, where you're touching the least amount of water and creating less drag. So that's where your vessel becomes more optimal for traveling at speed.
Was the Elliott Key Ranger Station the closest place to where you were at that time that a helicopter could land?
That is usually the case because it has a big clearing that we use. And usually those helicopters, because we can't just land them anywhere, that's usually the spot that we land them.
Do you, in fact, remain on the boat that Lucy was placed on when it starts to depart?
Yes, ma'am.
And was it heading toward Elliott Key Ranger Station?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you describe what was going on the back of that boat as you were en route to Elliott Key?
Yes.
Judge, 94-1, 94-3.
Go ahead.
While in emergency mode, while performing CPR,
The objections were probably like more I can't say the word. Looks worse on the defendant than the value of the testimony.
we were on the vessel. We were with the paramedic. The paramedic was attempting to intubate and to get a positive airway for Lucy while we were doing CPR and trying to get the AED machine, the defibrillator, to try to see if she was in what we call defibrillation, to get her heart started again. So we performed CPR to the best of our abilities while underway. It was very hectic, but we did the best we could until we got to the ranger station, or to LED.
Have you had to undergo certification in and training in performing CPR on someone?
Yes, ma'am.
How many times have you gone through that type of training?
We do a yearly training, and I am one of the instructors.
Okay. In a best case scenario, patient is on flat ground. Is performing CPR easy to do?
No, ma'am. It is extremely strenuous and very physically demanding.
Can it sometimes result in bruised ribs or even broken ribs when done properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you perform CPR on Lucy yourself the whole way, or do you rotate out with other officers?
No, ma'am. I did not perform CPR solely myself. We rotated amongst the other officers due to fatigue, and we wanted to maintain the correct rhythm and depth of compression. So we all rotated.
Does there come a point in time when you wind up actually at the Elliott Key Harbor?
Yes, ma'am.
To your knowledge, was Officer Elek going as fast as he could to get there?
I believe so, ma'am.
Even if under the best of circumstances, it's difficult to perform CPR. What was it like trying to perform CPR on Lucy as you're underway in this boat?
Extremely difficult.
Did the fire rescue worker have trouble trying to even intubate Lucy?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell us about how long it took to get from the scene where you had recovered Lucy till the time you get to Elliott Key?
It was definitely more than 30 minutes, I feel.
Oh, she's so soft
Can you walk the
spoken.
jurors through what happens once you get to Elliott Key?
Once we're at Elliott Key,
Prosecutor.
again, myself and the other officers that are rendering aid to Lucy, we hear the helicopter as we're coming in. We're continuing compressions on her. We continue to perform CPR. Once we get there, we, as a team, get her off the vessel on the backboard and walk her while holding the backboard with her on it to the helicopter for an extraction,
What do you mean extraction?
where they put her on the helicopter and lift her out of there.
Okay. Once you get Lucy onto that helicopter, do you stay at Elliott Key Harbor?
No, ma'am.
What do you do next?
We go to, well, we made the decision that we need to go back and help the other patients.
What's the
So
we?
do you go back to a scene where there's
You
a
need to
larger
say
vessel that
what
has
you
a platform
did.
on the back of it?
Yes, ma'am.
What was your primary focus once you get to that second vessel?
Triage.
What do you mean by that?
For what that means is that I'm going to start to evaluate different patients for injuries and treat from the worst.
So
The worst takes priority.
nobody
So
else
we try to
did
help the
doing
people that are
that.
in most need with what resources we have.
At some point while you're dealing with that boat that has a platform, does another vessel come along with a person that you later learned is named George Pino?
Yes.
Did you ever make contact with George Pino that afternoon?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you see George Pino in this courtroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you please point to him and describe an article of clothing he's wearing so our record will be clear?
George Pino, blue tie, blue suit with a pin.
Stipulate.
In your mind, at that time, was George Pino a criminal defendant?
Not at that time.
In your mind, was he someone that needed to be triaged and assessed?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ever handcuff him,
No, ma'am.
pull a gun on him,
No, ma'am.
yell at him,
No, ma'am.
threaten him?
Not
What
one.
the fuck?
Did he ever
Sorry
lose
for the
consciousness in your
language.
presence?
Not while in my presence.
Did he ever appear incapable of understanding what's going on?
No, ma'am.
Did he appear like he was maybe in shock or dazed?
No, not really.
Was he responsive to requests that you made of him?
Yes, ma'am.
What? He looked shocked and dazed
At some
in
point,
the
do you wind
video.
up leaving that secondary vessel and terminating your work for that crash that day?
At the end of the shift, yes.
Okay. I want to ask if you were asked to come back to the Cutter Bank area the very next day.
I was.
Can you explain to the members of the jury what was the purpose of you going back out there?
Yes, ma'am. So as part of being a Marine Patrol diver, part of our responsibility is to assist other agencies with evidence searches or whatever it is they need. We responded to conduct an evidence search of a crash site.
I'm going to ask you a little bit more about your position specifically as a police diver. For how long have you been a police diver?
At the time, approximately 3 years.
Did you have to, even if you already knew how to scuba dive, did you have to take specific training in police diving that would be different from like recreational diving?
Yes, ma'am. I have extensive training. My current title is Master Scuba Diver Trainer and Specialty Instructor.
Can you describe what the difference is between recreational diving and diving for police business?
The difference is that when we, as for recreational diving, you would be looking at fish, or it would be joyful. Or when we do police diving, it's for a single purpose, and that is recovering evidence, things that have evidentiary value.
Can that even be at nighttime?
Yes, ma'am.
Can it be in murky waters?
Yes, ma'am.
Can it be in waters where you hardly have any visibility?
Sometimes zero.
And can it mean sometimes retrieving dead bodies?
Yes, ma'am.
In this particular case, when you went out to Cutter Bank to assist with the police diving, who was the agency that was leading that effort?
FWC, Florida Fish and Wildlife.
If any evidence was recovered from the bottom of the bay, who would be responsible for ultimately impounding it and preserving it as evidence?
It would be FWC.
Okay, but you're there just to assist?
Yes, ma'am.
How many times over the course of your career by that time had you done police dives, do you think?
Police functions, hundreds at that point.
Okay. Now, was this near the Cutter Bank channel?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to ask you if you can tell the jurors a little bit about what the channel markers for that channel look like.
Some of her questioning confuses me because we've already established with this witness that it was Coda Bank. So I'm not sure why she's now asking if it was near Coda Bank.
There are a set of, there's basically, it's a channel that runs approximately north and south. There's two sets of channel. There's markers on the right side of the channel, markers on the left side of the channel, or east and west. They are green on the east side of the channel, and they are red on the west side of the channel. And usually the color distinction or means red right return is the term we use that lets you know that you're heading into land or that land is on that side. And that lets you know that your orientation if you're traveling without a GPS or anything like that.
Showing counsel states 2E and 2D for identification. Sergeant, do you recognize the channel markers in states exhibits 2E and 2D?
Yes, I do.
Are these pictures of channel markers 14 and 15
Yes, ma'am.
in Cutter Bank?
Yes, ma'am.
I've moved states 2D and 2E for identification and evidence.
Objection.
State Exhibit 2D, previously marked identification, will become State Exhibit number 22. And State Exhibit 2E for identification will become State Exhibit number 23.
So, Sergeant, I'm going to first ask you about states exhibit number 23. I see a red triangle with the number 14 on it.
Yes.
So, if this triangle shaped red marker is in Cutter Bank, where would we know to look for that on that chart that I just had?
That marker would be if you're traveling southbound down that, it should be on your right-hand side or port side.
Let's make it a little easier for the jury. I'm going to show you now states exhibit number 1C. Pardon me. Do you recognize the location depicted in states 1C?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that an image of where Cutter Bank is?
That is a very accurate depiction, yes.
Okay. You want to make witness up should step down from it?
Sure, and then just give you this.
Yes, ma'am.
So if a person is traversing, okay, so if a person is going from the north to the south, okay, on what side of this exhibit would the red triangle markers be?
The red would be closest to land, which would be this side.
And so looking at states exhibit number 23, channel marker 14, where would that be in relation to this channel? Is it toward the northern part or to the southern part?
Southern part.
So that would be there. And now if I look at states exhibit number 22, we have a green square channel marker. Where would that be located in relation to Cutter Bank?
Directly across from 14.
I'm sorry.
I wish there wasn't a glare.
Right here
I wish
across
they
from
used
14.
a different type
Can I
of
ask you to hold on to states exhibit number 23? And
board
hold that up. And I'll hold
so
on
that
to
there's
15.
not a
This
glare.
is kind of like an
when we can see.
approximation of what we would see as we're approaching channel markers 14 and 15.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Section 0.
What are those channel markers made out of? Are they plastic?
No, ma'am.
What are they?
Usually the channel markers, especially in that area, they're made of steel columns, and the channel marker itself, the one that has numbers and the colors, is usually aluminum.
Okay. And can you describe what type of
It
aluminum
looked
this would be?
wood
Like a
in
stop sign.
the
It's a
evidence.
very, very robust piece of metal.
Can you describe what happens to
See if I
things
can
that are
find.
in salt air and salt water?
Yes, ma'am. Well, they're frequently replaced due to corrosion. They rust.
Are they prepared with any specific type of paint to try to help prevent that?
I believe so. I think they almost use the same stuff that we use on the street signs here, like the stop signs so that they last longer to the elements.
Have you ever operated a vessel in that area at nighttime?
Yes,
Are you able to see the channel markers at nighttime?
it's very difficult until you're very close.
What about in the daytime? Is it difficult at all to see the either red triangles or the green squares?
From my perspective, on a clear day, no.
During that police dive that took place near Cutter Bank, was there a capsized vessel there?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you describe what it looked like?
A boat upside down with heavy damage.
What kind of a boat was this?
I don't remember the exact make and model of it. I know it was a twin-engine vessel.
Did it have a canopy?
I believe it did. I'm sure it did. It was just, I think, underwater or destroyed.
Okay. Did you locate anything in the vicinity of that capsized vessel during your police dive?
Yes, ma'am. During the evidence search, I was tasked to look for small articles. I ended up myself locating several cell phones and I believe a set of earrings.
Lastly, Sergeant, I want to ask you, on the day that you responded to the scene where Lucy was and then went to that secondary location, were you wearing a body-worn camera?
I was, ma'am.
Okay, and also known as BWC.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did that BWC capture what was going on around you as you were either at the boat where Lucy was initially or your transportation of her from that location to LAP Harbor?
My body-worn camera, I activated it the entire time I was there.
Were clips of that body-worn camera footage prepared for the jurors?
Yes, ma'am.
So we don't have to sit here for hours watching you traverse, say, from Black Point Marina up to Boca Chica?
Correct.
Okay. Did you have an opportunity prior to this trial to look at each of those clips that were isolated for you?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And were those clips true and exact copies of what your original complete body-worn camera footage was?
Yes, ma'am.
And after viewing those clips, did you actually affix your initials to the jump drive that they were placed onto?
I did, ma'am.
For the record, I'm showing counsel seats 2F for identification. Inside this purple envelope is a jump drive, and it says the word Delgado, and then there's a couple of scribbly looking
That's
things.
me.
Did you put your initials on that?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that to signify that you've seen what's on this jump drive and it is a true and accurate depiction of your body-worn camera footage?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Sorry, I'm looking for. I know I saw the picture of
Let me just have one more.
that marker because it didn't look steel to me. It looked wooden.
Sergeant, I'd like to ask, when you saw these clips, are they individually labeled?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time I move states 2F for identification and evidence.
Yes, Judge, I'll brief the judges.
Noted. Any further objection?
State Exhibit 2F, previously marked identification, will become State Exhibit number 24.
I'm sorry, what number?
24, Judge. You're welcome.
Your Honor, may the witness step down so they can observe his hand?
Yes.
Sergeant, if you sit there, I think everybody will be able to see.
Your Honor, can you approach before these videos are shown, please? Thank you.
Just for the record, this is going to be states number
1 through 6.
24. Thank you. This is states 24. There's clips that are labeled 1, arrival in triage, 2, transfer Lucy, 3, arrival at JP boat. The next one is Pino 1, then Pino 2, then Pino 3. I'll just play them in series if that's all right.
Did they excuse the jury? I missed that. That's my thing about looking things up while you're streaming is you miss things. I'm assuming with the way. Oh, the witness is off the stand, and so I'm guessing jury is out. Hopefully they don't react this way when the jury is in, because that would be unacceptable. Um, it's got to be hard on them. I get that, but it's a courtroom.
Your other clip is 5 minutes. The next one is going to be 50 seconds, and this is styled as transfer Lucy.
Your Honor, unless my memory is failing me, I don't recall these ever being displayed in court.
Okay.
Your Honor, unless my memory is failing me, I don't recall these ever being displayed in court.
The next clip is styled as arrival at JP boat. That's 2 minutes, 10 seconds.
Who else needs to go?
God, that's gonna be hard on the parents.
The next clip is titled Pino 1. It's 30 seconds long.
Who else needs to go? Guys, what do you need?
That was only 7 seconds, Your Honor. This This one is 1 minute.
Take care of that over there. I think I can hear for this. Back here. Right. Do not hold drugs. Hey, you got going right there.
All right, I'm ready to adjust. Clip number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are video with intent suggestion. As far as clip number 1, the arrival up to the point of reaching Ms. Fernandez, also getting on the boat, initial, getting her on the backboard, moving her over to the other boat. Once she's over to the boat, that's that. Nothing after that. There is still defense objection, I believe. I'll let you make your own objection, but nothing after once she is transferred to the larger police vessel. No, he described it in his testimony. That's sufficient.
Would I be able to publish these, but just stop it at that moment and then replace with another one that has?
That's what I was going to ask. To ensure, when it gets that point, as soon as you see, and we see the transfer,
Yes,
that's where the video stops.
absolutely.
I know the defense still has objections. Make whatever objection you have to anything else, but that's out.
So we filed pretrial motions on this. We continue to insist that all of this is, it's hard to watch all of us here watching it, including members of the audience who are obviously affected by it. And I think that unfortunately that's going to have that kind of effect on the jury. And what else can we say, Judge? Suffer yourself.
Listen, I have to balance again, whether or not relevant evidence, I'm finding it's relevant, whether or not it becomes unduly prejudicial. I think what I excise out, it's not necessary to the jury's understanding of the issues of the case. The rest, well, difficult, it will be difficult to see. There'll be other evidence. I'm sure it's already been admitted in other evidence that will be difficult to see. Anyone who feels uncomfortable or unable, I'm going to ask anyone who is unable to be in the courtroom, instead of having responses in front of the jury, would be more appropriate to please remain outside.
And since the court had already admitted the narrative from the witness, what we have now is just corroboration of that which is not in dispute. So we are not disputing what the officer described. Our view is that the jury need not see it to believe it. We all know that it happened. We're all sorry that it happened, but it's really necessary for the jury to have to see it in order to determine the issues in the case. We think not.
Right, answer, and that is preserved for any review if necessary. Okay, so with that caveat again, if anyone even thinks that they may become uncomfortable with anything, it's best to stay outside. So there's no responsibility. All right, okay. And if anyone's going to be outside, we're entering the jury, when he brings them back and forth, just be very certain not to display any kind of evidence. Again, it's a general comment to everyone, please not to display any kind of motion.
So that the instructions are clear, because the record doesn't have what you've seen. The moment when clip number 1 stops.
Do you want the witness first before I bring the jury?
Yes.
So that as the clip number 1, the jury will not be observing the administration of CPR? Is that?
Once this transfer to the larger vessel, which is then brought to the helicopter, that's in clip 1. That's when it stops. That's when it's going to be stopped upon the transfer onto the other boat.
May I ask if I could just very quickly go to the very end of that, just so that I can give the exact counter
Sure.
number where that is.
But then I recall another clip at the helicopter where there's CPR being performed there as well.
All right.
Is the court allowing that?
Was at the back end of the helicopter transfer, right? At the end of the second clip, you can see inside the helicopter that there's CPR being performed.
In the background, okay.
In the background. Okay.
Sorry, I couldn't hear the vote.
That can say.
Or rejection. Thank you.
Judge, you want him to take a seat now?
Judge, can I just have one moment just to look at the mark where I put that?
So, right in the
stop it, Judge. The counter is at 1 minute 34 seconds.
That's what you inside.
Yes.
Oh. I know I saw those pictures somewhere, but I can't find them now.
Judge, the witnesses are not going to be seated.
Okay, so I'm going to let's see, move this over here. And we're going to share that screen. Wait just a second. Okay, so after stage. So this appears to be the marker. This is the channel marker in the intercoastal waterway that George Pino hit while driving his boat. Is that wood or is that steel? I don't know. I'm not a boating person, so I don't know. But that kind of looks like it's wood. I mean, I could be wrong because I don't know anything about boating, but that kind of looks like wood. All right, we'll go back to this screen. Let me share that screen again. With audio, share, out stage. Okay, yeah.
Ready?
Yes.
All rise.
Okay, this might be very difficult to watch. I think they're going to show us those clips. Just take care of yourself.
Please be seated, thank you. You're now exhibit number 24. Click 1.
The helicopter. This is Lucy, the legs of Lucy, I believe. Yeah.
For the record, it stopped at 1 minute, 37 seconds left. Publishing clip number 2. Publishing now clip number 2.
Wow.
Sergeant, may I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you, Your Honor, may you have permission? The first 2 clips that we saw pertain to you arriving on the vessel. Pertain to you arriving on the vessel that Lucy was on and then transferring her to the helicopter. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
This 3rd clip, where are we seeing you now?
This was already, the sun setting.
Hold on, let me play a little bit of it. By now, are you on your way back out to the waters?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you wind up encountering a large vessel that has the platform?
Yes.
Okay. This vessel here, is this what kind of people is the Van Dutch vessel?
Yes, ma'am.
And on the back, were there any people on the on that platform?
Yes, sir.
Upright or lying down?
Several and
The person that's standing here with like the pinkish bathing suit, who was that person?
I can't hear you.
That was the defendant.
Next, playing the clip Pino 1.
Guys, what do you need?
Now playing Pino 2.
Gosh.
And now playing Pino 3.
Take care of that over there. You got a nigga back here. I think I heard this. I think I can hear her. Back here.
Sergeant, let me ask you, is this you communicating with the defendant at this moment?
Yes, it is.
Do not hold drugs. Hey, have you got a phone right there? Do you have any
Okay, so this officer said earlier he didn't look dazed or confused. See if I can go back a little bit. It's hard to do. Okay. Let's see if we can pause it at the right moment.
And now playing Pino 3.
Okay, take a look at him and see whether you think that he is dazed or confused. Because to me, I'm no medical expert, to me, he looks a bit dazed, like what the actual hell is going on type of thing. Like what happened, things like that. He definitely doesn't look intoxicated, in my opinion.
Take care of that over there.
Sergeant, let me ask you, is this you communicating with the defendant at this moment?
Yes, it is.
Do not close your eyes. Hey, are you guys going right in? Do you have any
I mean, he looks really.
She's almost broken. She has a broken arm, right? Is it bleeding?
I mean, he's got blood all over him.
Let me get some other.
Sergeant Delgado, are you familiar with the term PFD?
Yes.
What is a PFD?
It's a positive flotation device. It's a device that we use on the water. It's when you're boating, if you fall overboard, it keeps you afloat face up. So you
Also known
don't,
as a life jacket?
life jacket as well.
And you make sure to put one on George Pino before moving?
Yes, ma'am.
No other questions?
Deputy Sergeant Delgado.
Afternoon, sir.
Mark Shapiro, I represent Mr. Pino. You and I have met previously, haven't we?
Deposition, I believe.
That's correct, sir. Any person, any civilian that is brought onto a vessel of the Miami-Dade Police Department, now Sheriff's Office, it is a policy that a personal flotation device be put on that person. Is that right?
I don't know if it's written policy, but it's a procedure that we use to look out for the well-being of the person.
What is the law in Florida as to who must wear a personal flotation device?
Objection calls for legal conclusion.
If you know.
Just say,
Minors under a certain weight.
Just
Oh, sorry.
Sergeant Delgado, persons who are 6 years of age or less must wear a personal flotation device if they're on a moving vessel. Is that correct?
Correct.
So if you're over 6 years old, there is no requirement that you wear a personal flotation device, right?
No, sir.
And I presume that in your time at the Marine Patrol, you would often patrol the sandbar areas around Elliott Key. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And on any given weekend during the summer at the sandbar near Elliott Key, there are a number
Well,
of
drinking.
boaters out there. Isn't that correct?
Yes, sir.
The vast majority of those boaters are not wearing
Objection, relevance.
personal flotation
Objection,
devices. The vast majority of those boaters are not wearing personal flotation devices, are they?
The vast majority, no.
Now, somebody will get a ticket if their 6-year-old or less is not wearing a personal flotation device, right?
That's correct.
But again, adults have the option. There's no requirement that they wear one.
Correct.
But for safety reasons, the county wants any civilian brought upon any of their vessels to have a personal flotation device put on. Is that right?
That is correct.
And that is for liability purposes, isn't it?
I believe so.
The county doesn't want to get sued.
I believe so.
You mentioned earlier in your testimony that you were referring to the channel markers at Cutter Bank. Do you remember that?
When I was asked, yes.
Yes. You were specifically asked about channel markers number 14 and 15. Is that right?
Correct.
And you testified that they are opposite one another. Do you recall your testimony?
Yes, sir.
In fact, they are not opposite one another, are they?
I believe they were.
On the same pole.
Isn't it true that channel marker 14, the red triangle channel marker, is well to the north, at least a couple hundred feet to the north of channel marker 15, which is to its south?
I don't recall that part.
Okay, so
If that in fact is the case, then you would be mistaken in your earlier testimony that they're opposite one another. Is that right?
If that is true, then I would be mistaken.
And typically, channel markers are set up opposite one another so that when a boater is going through a channel, they can see that there's additional markers. Everywhere there's a marker opposite one another, they know that either they have reached the end of the channel or there are more ahead. Is that right?
That's correct.
And if it is in fact true that channel marker 14 is not opposite channel marker 15, that could produce a confusing situation for a boater going through the channel at Cutter Bank. Is that correct?
I honestly wouldn't say so. Not confusing. It's usually a red and a green marker.
No doubt there is a red and a green marker, but if they're not opposite one another, as you believe that they are, it could cause confusion.
If you're counting numbers.
The purpose, your main priority that afternoon, that evening, was to provide triage service for any of the passengers who were injured in the accident. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you were dispatched from Black Point Marina, as you testified earlier, once you got the call that an accident had occurred. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And we saw a video in State's Exhibit number 24 that you were making your way down the Carter Bank channel in order to get to the accident. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Now, the person who was driving the boat next to you, that was Robert Bruto, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
And you made several trips, I believe, at least more than one trip, between the accident scene and Elliott Key Harbor when you were bringing patients back and forth. Is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
And that was your priority that day. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Rendering aid.
There came a time when you actually began to perform triage on Mr. Pino. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And that is because Mr. Pino himself was injured in the accident.
Yes.
And Ms. Adams asked you a few minutes ago if, while you were providing triage to Mr. Pino, whether you had placed Mr. Pino in handcuffs. Do you recall her asking you that question?
Yes, sir.
Was there any reason that Mr. Pino gave to you to put handcuffs on him?
No, sir. Not at that time, no.
Mr. Pino was concerned about the safety of the people that had been injured, right?
He appeared to be, yes.
He made some inquiry about that, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
And he wasn't presenting any sort of danger to you, was he?
No.
He was also an injured passenger, wasn't he?
That is correct.
In fact, he was bleeding quite severely from his head, wasn't he?
There was a little bit of blood.
I'd like to, if you could step down.
Yeah.
And I'd like to play, yeah, over here, sir, thank you. I'd like to play the clip known as Pino 3, which is on State's Exhibit 24.
Okay. So this clip is what my poll on YouTube is for. If y'all are on YouTube, this clip here is refers to this clip.
Take care.
Now, you heard Mr. Pino say, I'm fine, thumbs up, take care, right?
Yes.
And he even appeared to throw a kiss at somebody, didn't he?
I'm video, yes.
All right, do you know who he was speaking to?
No, sir.
He was playing again. Continue.
Back over there. You're a nigga back here. I think back here. Yeah, I think I can hear him. I think back here. That's right. Do not close your eyes. Hey, you guys going on it?
You call Mr. Pino saying to his daughter, Ceci, I love you, after saying, I'm all right, I'm all right.
I agree. Yeah, I just wasn't paying attention to what he was saying.
Understood.
Checking his ears.
Okay. CD.
Excuse me.
Okay, right. Hands up. Take care.
Excuse me.
I,
Is there an objection?
there's an objection because this is not in evidence. The state's evidence is number 24.
That's what I said.
It's not the same item though.
It's Pino 3. State's Exhibit 24.
I would want to be sharing more about authentication. So take the exhibit, if you would please.
I have it right here, Judge.
And we'll just substitute them and queue it up. If you would, thank you.
I don't see a difference, but okay.
Sergeant Delgado, I'm showing you what is actually State's Exhibit 24, which is placed into evidence. Thus far, does it appear to be any different than what you viewed just moments ago?
No.
Take care of that over there. You're a nigga back here. I think back here. Yeah, I think I can hear him. I think back here. That's right. Do not close your eyes. Hey, you guys going on it?
You're providing
It's the same damn video.
medical assessment essentially of Mr. Pino this morning, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
And you asked Mr. Pino, and tell Mr. Pino, do not close your eyes.
Yes, sir.
And why is that?
Due to the head trauma, we always take into account, we don't know the severity of the impact caused to the head. The head, even if it's a small cut, can bleed a lot. But again, I don't know the severity of his impact to his head.
And if there was a concussion, for example, a traumatic brain injury, then closing a person's eyes, leading to them perhaps go to sleep, could be a dangerous thing for that person, correct?
Could be.
Right. And that's why you told Mr. Pino not to close his eyes.
Correct. Because that lets me know his alertness at conscious level. If he falls asleep or if he starts to wander off, I wouldn't be able to monitor his condition.
In fact, you tell Mr. Pino to close, not to go to sleep anymore, don't you?
Correct. I believe it's not supposed to keep your eyes open.
And at this point, you can see that Mr. Pino is bleeding pretty good from his head. that right?
It looks like it's already dry.
But you see a significant amount of butter, don't you?
Yes, sir.
She's on. She has a broken arm, right? Is it bleeding? Right. Relax. Let me get some work.
You heard at the end there, sorry, no doubt, at the end of this video, that you advised Mr. Pino not to fall asleep on, correct? For the same reasons that you just testified on ago. That's correct. Now, also, you may return your seat. Also, Sergeant Delgado, were you performing triage on your own at that moment, or were you getting assistance from other officers?
There was several officers on scene.
There were flashlights, there was lighting on Mr. Pino as you were performing triage, wasn't there?
Correct.
You had an opportunity to see clearly Mr. Pino's face, is that correct?
Yes, I did.
You had an
Ice cream
opportunity
truck
clearly
is
to see Mr. Pino's eyes, did you not?
Roaming
Yes,
through.
And you were within 2 or 3 feet of Mr. Pino at any given
Don't know
time
if
while
y'all
you were
can hear it or
performing
not.
triage, is that right?
Yes, sir.
At any time, did you notice or make any observations about Mr. Pino that he might have been impaired in any way?
At that time, I wasn't looking for that, sir.
At no time did you
No.
see anything that would indicate to you that Mr. Pino might have been impaired? is that
Correct, sir.
right? Did any of the other officers who were performing triage with you on Mr. Pino tell you that they observed any indication that Mr. Pino might have been impaired?
Not to my recollection, sir.
Had yourself or any of these other officers that were present there determined or made observations of impairment on Mr. Pino, you would have advised the investigating officer in the case, wouldn't you?
Yes, sir.
And you did not do that.
Did not do what?
You did not advise the lead investigating officer because no observations were made by you. is that
Correct.
Well, thank you, Sergeant O'Donnell. Nice to see you.
Thank you, sir.
No further questions?
Sergeant, even if the law doesn't require somebody to wear a life jacket, is it generally safer to do so?
Absolutely, ma'am.
The attorney asked if the county doesn't want people to get sued. And you said that that's part of the reason maybe why when a civilian is on your boat, you put them in a life jacket. Do you think it might also be that the county doesn't want people to die?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna ask our nice clerk to mark this, please. Showing counsel say it's 2I for identification. Sergeant, I'm showing you a demonstrative exhibit. It states 2I.
Objection, Judge. Comes out.
Okay, it's not a very long sidebar, so we'll let it play out.
All right, go ahead, Ms.
Thank you. Sergeant, I'm approaching you again with states 2I for identification.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, it's not a very pretty drawing, but we see
Very accurate, though.
Cutter Bank, and there's a red triangle 14 that if this is due north,
Yes, ma'am.
and this is south, if channel 14, say, is here, and channel marker 15 in a green square is here, to your recollection, is this basically what we would see as we're going from the north to the south through Cutter Bank Channel?
Yes, ma'am. And if I may, there is a navigation. I'm so sorry, ma'am. There is a navigational reason for that. It's for an old maritime sailor explained to me once. So the reason that the Coast Guard designs the markers at a catty-corner angle like that and not makes them run parallel is because at night you know that if you're traveling from a square or green to the red and onto a green, you're able to stay within the channel and it's safe to navigate.
Are these channel markers opposite each other?
They're opposite each other.
No other questions?
Okay.
Any requests?
I have no recourse, Judge.
Shouldn't that have been like a Google Maps type of thing instead of a hand drawn?
This is acceptable.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State your business.
Yes, Judge. State call Detective John Dalton, please.
Please step forward, face the clerk, raise your right hand and swear.
You solemnly swear the testimony about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Sweet.
Hello there.
How you doing?
Could you please introduce yourself to our jury?
Hi, my name is Detective John Dalton.
Where do you work?
I work for the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office in the Traffic Homicide Unit,
How long have you been with Miami-Dade? Well, initially Police Department and now Sheriff's Office.
working on my 31st year.
Could you explain to the jurors what was your initial assignment within that agency?
Initially, when I started, I was on road patrol.
How long were you a road patrol officer?
Approximately 4 years.
After that, did you want to switch gears and do a different type of police work?
Yes, ma'am. I went into investigations.
Can you tell some of the jurors different types of investigations that you've handled?
I did.
Up to when you went to traffic homicide.
I did general investigations, shooting, stabbings, burglaries. I did prostitution. I did.
Wait a minute. You did prostitution?
Well, I was actually a certified decoy doing prostitution details.
Okay.
So I worked prostitution. I did street level narcotics. Again, shooting, stabbings, burglaries. Just general investigative work.
Are you familiar with the term FTO?
Yes.
What is an FTO?
A field training officer.
What are your responsibilities if you're an FTO?
You're actually an officer that works on the road that trains all the new officers that are coming out to basically get them up to speed on being an actual one-man effective officer on the street.
For how long were you an FTO?
Off and on, probably 4 years.
I want to ask if in 2016 you wound up going to another investigative unit within your department.
Yes, I did. I went to traffic homicide
How many times have you worked in the traffic homicide unit?
twice. I'm on my second round.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, the first time that you were in the traffic homicide unit, and for shorthand, do you all call it the THU?
Yeah, THU.
How long were you in the THU the first time?
From 2016 to 2020.
Okay. And then did you go somewhere else within your agency?
Yes, I went to Marine Patrol
How long did you stay in Marine Patrol?
from 2020 to 2024.
And then where did you go in 2024?
I went back to traffic homicide.
Can you tell us a little bit about the training that was required for you to become a member of the traffic homicide unit?
So far, it's an ongoing training. We take training classes every year. So far, I've had just shy of 400 hours of training. It's in basic crash investigation, traffic crash reconstruction, at scene, occupant kinematics, which is like what an occupant in a vehicle does during a crash, along with pedestrians, bicycles. There's several courses that we take throughout the years.
Do you learn about using math calculations in order to help reconstruct the crash scene?
Yes, trigonometry.
Also, how about photography?
We do photography. We do all of our own photographing of all of our own scenes and everything. So we take a photography class as well.
Are you familiar with the term total station?
Yes.
Can you explain to the jurors what is total station for measurements?
You probably all have seen one and don't realize what it is. You've seen the land surveyors on the side of the road have the tripod set up with a machine. So that machine is made by a company. It's several different companies. The ones we use are Nikon, and it's an actual electronic machine that measures a specific point that you look through an oracle. You place the crosshairs on a specific point, and it actually takes an exact measurement from where that tripod is to that exact point.
Would that be the orange poles that people hold up?
Yes, you can either shoot a pole that another detective is holding for your exact point, or you can shoot actual solid marks that you have, like a telephone poles or curbing or anything like that, something that's not going to move.
Can you tell the jurors within the traffic homicide unit, if a fatal crash happens, how is it decided who's going to lead up that investigation?
It rotates.
Holy cow, I don't know how long I was muted for, but anyway, how is traffic related to boating?
It's on a rotation. It depends really on who's up, who has the actual, the more cases or the least amount of cases. But for the most part, it rotates. In our traffic homicide unit, the day shift where I work, we have 4 detectives and 1 supervisor, and then afternoons, that's 4 detectives and 1 supervisor, and we rotate amongst us.
About how many cases of fatal traffic crashes have you been the lead investigator on?
Probably upwards over 200.
And how many fatal traffic crashes have you assisted with?
Oh, over 800.
What the heck?
In addition to investigating how a traffic crash happens, do you also have to perform a function called NOK notifications?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain what that is?
NOK stands for next of kin notifications. That's where we, myself or then the backup detective and usually supervisor, respond to the house of the victims, and then we notify them. It's probably one of the most difficult parts of our job. We notify the victim's family that one of their loved ones has passed away in a crash. It's generally a tragic event. It's not expected.
I want to talk a little bit about your time with Marine Patrol. You were there
Okay.
for about how long?
4 years approximately.
Why did you go into the Marine Patrol unit?
So I did my 25 years with the police department, and then we have a thing called DROP, Deferred Retirement Program. So traffic homicide is a very grueling, very taxing unit. You are on call every other week, and it's on call long hours. You get called out any hour of the night. Sometimes I would leave the house, at 6, 7 o'clock in the afternoon. I wouldn't get back till the following day at 6 or 7 at night working one case. If there's leads on it where you're closely developing leads, you will just continue working through the case until you get to the end of it. So when I went into the DROP, I wanted to go to a unit where I could relax a little bit, thinking that Marine Patrol was going to be that unit. And boating has always been one of my things. I've owned boats since I was 13 years old. I was born and raised in Miami. I've been on boats my whole life. So I wanted to go to a unit that I really enjoyed doing the out on the water.
Now, as a Marine Patrol officer, were you tasked with the responsibility of investigating a fatal vessel crash?
No, we do not handle fatal. Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office does not handle fatal crashes. We only handle boat crashes that are minor in nature, less than $1,000 with no injuries. Anything with injuries or fatal is going to be with FWC.
Do you think that the training and experience that you had as a traffic homicide investigator was helpful?
I'm lost for words. Because this was a fatal accident, probably costing more than $1,000. So FWC, I think is what he said, um, should be taken over. So why is he here?
To you when you would investigate vessel crashes, even if death or serious bodily injury did not result?
Yes, because as a traffic homicide investigator, you have a different dynamic of looking at crashes. You definitely have a different way of looking at just even a minor crash. I think to the extent that I've gone so far as I can look at most vehicles and the damage on a vehicle and tell you exactly what happened in the crash. And it does correlate over to boats as well. Even though there's a vast difference between boats and cars, it does correlate over just because it's impact damage. And impact damage is what you normally look at.
Back on September 4th of 2022, were you working as a Marine Patrol officer?
Yes, I was.
Did you get dispatched to a location known as Cutter Bank or Cutter Bank Channel?
Yes, ma'am.
Was that the first time you'd ever been there?
No, ma'am. I've been through Cutter Bank several times. I mean, well over 100 times in my personal and my professional career.
And is that location in Miami-Dade County?
Yes, it is.
Can you describe for the jurors when you arrived to that scene? What were you looking at?
When I arrived, there's several law enforcement vessels, as well as I believe a Coast Guard and I believe there was a fireboat from Ocean Reef was there as well. But there's several law enforcement vessels and they're all rafted together. Rafting together means that they're all tied together. So I was one of the last ones to arrive because I was coming from Miami Beach where I was fueling up the boat. So I arrived and I actually pulled up on the end of the chain of boats that were lined up.
When you're rafting together, like one boat tied to the next, do the boats just stay stationary all by themselves?
No, but obviously it's water. It's fluid. It's dynamic. Everything moves around. So when you raft up, everything is generally still floating, moving around. Nobody's anchored because at any time you need to pull the lines and get moving, especially in this type of situation.
Were you the last in the line of vessels that were rafted up together?
Yes, ma'am. I was the last boat tied up to an FWC boat.
Can you describe what the additional responsibilities are for a vessel operator that's the last of the line for that?
So in general, when you're the last one, you're actually the one that's controlling the movement of the entire line, because if you don't control the movement, the boats can actually wrap around each other and become a problem because you'll start getting, if they go backwards, engines will start getting into engines and it becomes a problem, or the bows start touching each other. So your job as the last boat in the sequence would be to keep kicking the engines in and out of gear to maintain that line as straight as you can and not allow the vessels to wrap or to get, put yourself in any type of bad situation or cause damage.
On that particular night, if you're the operator of that vessel, do you stay on that vessel even if there are other vessels and other people that might need help?
I was captaining the vessel. You stay on that vessel because you have to maintain control of your vessel.
Now, at some point while you're there, are a number of teenage girls brought over the rafted boats onto the boat that you were captaining?
Yes, ma'am.
Were any of the girls that came over onto your boat seriously injured?
No, ma'am. They all had minor injuries.
At some point, do you disconnect from all these other vessels and take these girls somewhere else?
Yes, ma'am. So as a rule, a policy for the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office, anytime we put anybody other than law enforcement on our boat, everybody gets provided with a PFD. You all know what they are. It's the personal flotation device or a life vest. The ones we provided, the Coast Guard approved orange life vest. You see them when you go on a cruise. You see them. They're sold by pack. When you buy a new boat, they're sold by a pack. Everybody that enters onto our vessel gets provided with a PFD with a wraparound strap. So all the young ladies were brought over the boat. They were all given a PFD and they were all advised to sit down on the console's front bench, it only seats two, and then on the floor in the front.
Where did you take the girls?
The Elliott Key.
Did you go very fast to get there?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
They were in a panic-stricken moment. They were asking me, please don't drive fast, please, please, please. Just like, please just get us there safely. But they were in a more of a terrified panic state, asking me not to drive fast. And it was getting dark as well.
In that kind of a situation, are you going to use GPS to get you to Elliott Key?
So nightfall was coming on us. A GPS, when it's lit up bright, will blind you to what you're actually looking for. Generally, when you're going to run from one spot to another at nighttime, you're going to use markers, and you're going to use reflective signs on the markers called day markers. So you can use a GPS, but it's going to be very dim, but you don't solely rely on that. You look at your markers while you're running. You're going to be running the ICW channel all the way up.
Is it ever safe to navigate solely looking at your GPS device?
No.
Once you bring the girls over to Elliott,
Okay, so was that question about looking at your navigation, navigating strictly on the GPS, was that referring to at night or during the day? Because two different timings, right?
Key, are you involved in any further investigation of this case?
No, ma'am.
Now, you mentioned something about that you went to the Marine Patrol unit because you were kind of sliding into retirement mode.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you like working there?
In Marine Patrol?
Yes.
Absolutely. It's a great job.
Why did you leave?
I ended up having 3 pinched nerves in my neck. So I suffered some physical setbacks from the constant pounding of the boat. The sun beats on you constantly. It's truly a young man's job. Your knees, and as well as it's very taxing, very fatiguing on the body. We work 10-hour shifts, and you're required to be on that boat, 7 to 8 hours a day on the boat. It's a taxing job for the operators and the Marine Patrol officers on the boat. So it's very fatiguing to you.
Any sense of how Bobby Bruto lasted so long in Marine Patrol?
No clue. You would have to answer that one.
Maybe that is this all?
How
that's
is
possible.
that relevant?
The county does take every measure for us. They do give us fatigue pads to stand on, so you're not taking a brutal beating. We do have some boats that have shock absorbing seats on them to sit down on, but for the most part, you're standing up for most of the time, conducting like law enforcement duties.
I want to ask you if over the course of your career handling traffic crashes, has EDR data become really important in those investigations?
Absolutely.
What's an EDR?
It's an event data recorder, which is a black box. I know y'all heard on an airplane, they always talk about recovering the black box. So vehicles have an EDR, which is a black box in the vehicle as well. It records events such as when you're involved in a crash. It goes back and stores 5 to 10 seconds worth of data on that box. And then we're able to use that with a system that we have to download it. And it tells us exactly what the vehicle was doing, the dynamics of the vehicle, driver inputs, everything to that nature, steering, percentage of gas, percentage of brake.
If y'all are watching, comment in the live chat and let me know what you think.
Everything basically what happens to that vehicle, as well as speed and impact points. And it also covers change in velocity, which is when there's an impact, it moves in the opposite direction.
Are you familiar with GPS data that is gathered on vessels?
I know what GPS is.
In terms of knowing what it is, not in terms of.
I know what it is, but I don't know anything about downloading it or analyze. I've never done that.
But you use GPS in your job?
Yes, ma'am.
Why would you say that it is not safe or that you would not find it prudent to navigate a boat solely using GPS?
So as it gets dark, every vessel is required to turn on their lights, navigational lights.
Okay, difference. George was driving during the day. It was bright, it was sunny. This guy is referring to not using just the GPS at night. Not the same.
Red and green on the front, anchor light on the back. There's no set lanes. There's no set highways. There's no curbing on the water. So boats are free to travel in whatever direction they want, obviously, except for going through channels. Channels is something that you have to stay between the markers for fear of running aground more than anything, causing damage to your boat. So that's why channels are marked. That's why they're called channels. And it's the safe way to navigate through shallow areas of the water.
And boats can drive anywhere in this that they want. Okay, got it.
Ways, twofold: for you to be safe, and number two, to not damage any of the waterways out there, to damage the sand flats or the corals or anything like that. A secondary thing is you never know what boats are coming, and GPS doesn't pick up boats. The only way you can pick up a boat is with a radar unit, and a radar unit only picks up a trail on it. So if you were solely to navigate your boat just by that, it would have to be a radar unit and a GPS unit as well. But it's you have to have your head on a swivel at all times, looking for everybody coming different directions. It's literally pitch black out there with a little tiny red and green light on it and a white light on the back of the boat. And the lights definitely get lost in the city light backgrounds, so you don't see them all the time.
What about in the daytime? Would it be safe to navigate a vessel looking only at your GPS screen?
Again, same rules apply during the day. There is no lanes. There's nothing designated on which direction you have to go. So vessels are coming from all different directions out there. So you can't solely rely on just your GPS. You got to keep your head on a swivel, we always ride 2 persons to a boat, 2 officers to a boat. One is constantly navigating the boat, and the other one is looking out for the vessels as well. We're constantly, I mean, we do it all the time. We warn each other all the time. And we obviously point out to each other, hey, you see the boat coming from the right, or you see the boat coming from the left. It's always a two-man system out there.
Are you familiar with the term
For
navigation
police
rules?
officers.
Yes.
Are voters required to follow them?
You're supposed to follow the navigation rules. They don't always get followed, but yes,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Objection to the question. Sidebar.
Rephrase.
Sure. Are you familiar with the navigational rules?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that what voters are supposed to follow?
Yes, ma'am.
And beyond that, are you familiar with the navigational rule about lookouts?
I couldn't quote it to you, but yes, I know there is a navigation rule.
Can you explain what the importance of having a lookout is, based on your personal and professional boating experience?
Objection, Judge. Lack of foundation.
Ask a few more foundational questions if you can.
You just testified that you'll have other officers, at least it's a two-man unit at a minimum, unit meaning a police boat.
Correct.
You'll have other officers there to help look for other items. Is that fair to say?
That's fair. There's debris floating in the water and stuff like that. So yes, everybody on the boat's keeping a lookout.
Okay. And is that to keep you safe?
Yes, ma'am.
And to keep other people safe?
Yes, ma'am.
Are the
Judge,
rules?
can we go sidebar, please?
Okay.
Are they still at sidebar?
All right. Let's take back the question and go to its objection. Objection is overruled. You can proceed.
Thank you. Just backing up, in terms of having more than one person looking at where you're going, does that put you in a safer position?
Yes, ma'am.
And it puts other people in a safer position? Is that
Yes,
what you're saying? Talking about navigating through channels, and I don't mean to ask you something too personal, but how old are you?
53.
And if you've been then voting since you were 13, that looks like maybe 39 years of voting experience.
Correct.
Let me ask you something. In those years, have you had to traverse channels in the water?
Yes.
Are there rules about what side of the channel you're supposed to operate your vessel on?
Not that I recall. I mean, it's general, as a general rule, people treat it just like the street.
Objection, Judge, again.
General rule.
In your
No
experience?
rule. No.
In my experience, it's just like being on the street. Vessels go one direction, will stay on the right-hand side. Vessels go the opposite direction, will be on your left-hand side.
Generally.
Having had the perspective of both handling multiple traffic crashes on land and also investigating vessel crashes, albeit not fatal ones, on the waters, can you explain some of the challenges why a vessel crash could potentially be more dangerous even than a motor vehicle crash?
Objection, Judge.
It's the same.
In your experience, do boats have brakes?
No, they do not.
Do they have airbags?
No, they do not.
Are they equipped with seatbelts?
No.
How about a steel cage?
No.
Are boats made of fiberglass?
Yes, ma'am.
If you're ejected from a boat and you're not wearing a PFD, can you drown?
Yes, ma'am.
No other questions.
Boss?
Yes. Good afternoon, Detective.
Good afternoon, sir.
And I don't mean to make light. I mean, this is a tragic event, and a young lady died. But even if she was wearing a flotation device and the boat capsized, wouldn't she still drown because she's blocked? She can't float up because of the boat. I mean, that's a genuine question. I don't know. I mean, that's what is going through my brain right now.
My name is Ed Armelino. I represent Mr. Pino. We've never met before, correct?
No, sir.
When you were transporting the girls, you said they were seated on the boat?
Yes, sir.
And they were on the floor of your boat, too?
Some on the floor, some were sitting on the center console.
And was that in the front of your boat?
Yes, sir.
And you testified that you were familiar with the ICW, the Intercoastal Waterway?
Yes, sir.
Very familiar, would you say?
I've traveled it several times.
Okay. And when you were transporting the girls on the bow of your boat, was that at night?
Yeah, well, the sun was going down. It started to get dark.
Okay. And you had no radar on the boat?
No, that vessel doesn't have radar.
Do you recall how fast you were going?
I didn't actually study again, I'm not looking at the GPS or anything like that. I would say no more than 40, 45, maybe at max, but I don't think I was going that fast. There was no urgency to
And
rush to the island.
dude, I think they said earlier that George was only doing 47. So around the same speed as this officer with no urgency.
None of my passengers were gravely injured at that point.
Okay. And you felt in those conditions that that was a safe speed for you to travel?
Yes, sir.
Bam! And it's getting dark.
A moment.
How? Reasonable doubt
No further questions. Thank you.
of recklessness. Because that's reasonable doubt to the recklessness of George. This officer, no emergency. The girl's asking him to kind of take it easy, and he's doing 45-ish.
When you were escorting those girls over to Elliott Key, did you have other officers that were serving as a lookout for you?
Yes, ma'am.
When you did that, well, let me ask you this. Did you consume any alcohol during your shift that day?
No, not at all. I don't drink. I've never had an alcoholic drink in my life.
And you have how many years of boating experience?
39 approximately.
Have you ever crashed into a channel marker?
No, ma'am.
Nothing else.
The witness is going to be under the subpoena. The state will speak with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Be available, and your excuse at this time.
Thank you very much.
Very good, thank you.
So it sounds like the defense is going to call him back if they put on a defense.
Based on our scheduling discussions, I think we would.
And the arrangements are exist for the jury. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, look at us.
Knuckles back in the envelopes.
We have completed day 3. So we are caught up and we're caught up. We'll start day 4 tomorrow. I'm not sure what time.
They will bring into the courtroom for us to begin our session. Then at that point, we'll give you some instructions about our session tomorrow. We will be traveling, there will be a jury view of the vessel of these matter. And we will be transporting you, we have a bus to transport you, and we will be in the company of Renee. I will give you more instructions tomorrow to the location, but please, we'll come here. We will begin the session, make sure everyone's here. We'll start the session, I'll give you additional instructions. And then we will go on our jury view, and then we will all return back to the courthouse, back to the courtroom, probably get back here in time for lunch. Okay? Then we will have an afternoon session. So I want to give you a heads up about that. Nothing really special. I would say maybe wear more comfortable shoes, because we'll be walking a little bit in an area. And I'll have some water for you. And I think that's there's nothing else in terms of special instructions. Okay? Well, you may want to bring an umbrella, but if I see that the weather is inclement, then we will go to the rain gate for the jury view. We're scheduling this for tomorrow morning, and we hope to leave here probably about 9:20, 9:30 latest. Okay? Please remember, you see or hear anything about this case, or you think it's about this case, ignore it. Don't read it. Don't watch it. Don't listen to it. Please don't go on social media to either post anything or to look at, see if there's any information about this case. Don't do any research. Don't do any Googling to try to get information outside of the courtroom. None of that is evidence. Evidence is only what you receive in the courtroom. It's all you can consider with the law that I will instruct you on to ultimately make your decisions. Okay? I think I've covered everything, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. I would ask you to be here like 10 or 9. If there's any issue to run late, please be sure to let us know. Have a pleasant evening. Take your notebooks with you. All right, please be seated. So that means clear tomorrow that Mr. Pino will also, we would start session just like we've been starting the session. And then if you would like me to instruct the jury and all about Mr. Pino going with us, not going with us, I will. I'll leave that to you. I think it's necessary. So we'll let the jury know. Okay. Who do we have? We have an idea for the afternoon who we might be having as witnesses. Okay. Well, what I want to be clear about is if any of those witnesses, again, I think it has to do mostly with the body worn camera to make sure that if there's evidence through a body worn camera or any other physical evidence that you intend to introduce, that if there are excerpts, okay, then we can get ahead of the question of what you're going to introduce. And if there are excerpts that the defense intends to introduce of a body worn camera through any of the state's witnesses that are remaining, and again, you're not required to, I'm not going to order you to do that, then I would like to have either one or two things, either the opportunity again for the defense to be able to authenticate whatever the additional evidence might be, so that they might be able to, through cross-examination, present whatever evidence, which we allow that, that's not the typical option, but we allow it. And if not, it's perfectly fine, but then to make sure that the defense understands they will have to bring like one or two witnesses today, we'll have to bring the witness when you start the case. Okay, so that's why I'm asking.
I understand that, and I don't anticipate tomorrow there'll be any body worn camera footage.
Okay, all right, so we should,
Does that include, there's also Lieutenant Thompson where they did drone footage, they did that whole experiment on the water. Is that tomorrow?
I think that there'll be some footage from the recreation yard, yes.
okay, all right, so that's, you're going to take excerpted portions of the recreation, or you're going to play the whole?
No, because each time the vessel goes through the channel, maybe it's a minute or so. So there's just footage from the drone of Lieutenant Thompson piloting his vessel through the channel. And so it's not that there's clips, it's just,
It's one video.
no,
Oh,
there's multiple videos because the vessel was run through the channels on different times and the drone was placed in different locations to film the vessel traversing the channel below.
does that mean it's the entirety of the drone footage that you're going to present, or there are segments like we have today, one 6 seconds?
It's different than body worn camera, which lasts, say, an hour long and you select clips from it. What this is there were specific times, okay, like clip one or video one, probably more precisely. Video one might be, for example, the drone is at the southern end of the channel and the vessel is traveling south toward it. Video two might be the drone is in the northern part of the channel and follows behind the vessel as it traverses the channel. So there's different videos. It's not that they're clipped so much because they're not part of a larger or longer video.
Okay. From what you have of the
Yes.
drone video, let's take the totality of the drone video. Is it your intention to introduce all of the drone video? If it's not, that's fine too, but there may be aspects of the drone video that the defense might want to present. And rather than attempted authentication in court, just want to make sure the defense understands that, and they would have to have that witness back to present whatever else of the drone video footage that might not have been shown that they would like the jury to see in their case. That's the reason the question.
So to clarify, it sounds like, I'm quite sure the same event might be recorded by different cameras, different angles. It could be a drone, it could be a pole cam, it could be a camera on a boat. I don't know how many of those the state is using, but they created it and gave it to us. This is not an authentication issue.
No, I'm saying it's what they created.
Correct, and they turned it over to us as part of their discovery obligation. This is not about authentication. They're obviously authentic.
Okay, but it was different from mine, because you then created separate,
We just took a smaller portion of what they produced to us.
and created essentially your own, but it's the same
We didn't
information.
create anything. We simply proposed to publish only a smaller
I
portion of it.
understand the whole thing. We don't have to make this more complicated than
Exactly.
Okay.
They had,
Present your evidence tomorrow.
I will.
Make sure you have the witnesses that you are going to be presenting, attempting to present any evidence for subpoenaed and ready to testify. If you cannot, through any of the witnesses, present defense evidence. Okay.
I'm just perplexed why counsel thinks that just because the state turns something over in discovery, that that's the same thing as authentication from the witness.
Okay, we don't need to discuss it anymore. It's clear what
I
happened today.
think it's gonna be discussed again.
Well,
I understand.
it's not being discussed.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you, Judge.
Wow.
Having witnesses subpoenaed, whatever your evidence is that you wish to introduce, if it's something that is not presented during direct examination, and you would like to get it in through the witness that's testifying, you'll present that witness as your witness at the appropriate time. Okay. Is there anything else?
Yes, Judge, it's 403 or 408.
Well, I think I'm gonna make an independent trip myself,
Okay,
to just get a feel, and I can email everyone as to what I see if there's any potential difficulties.
so I should advise FWC that you'll be there?
Yes, at some point, in the next hour or so.
Yeah, no, I know, just so I can give them a rough ETA.
If you,
Of course.
you know,
So we're excused from that?
yes. We have, and, Sergeant Lopez, did he come to see you?
He did, and I provided him with the information he asked me
Sergeant
for.
Lopez is a Miami-Dade police officer who's going to be escorting us and driving the van with the jurors. So But he needed the contact person so that we get there and we don't have a locked gate. We know we're coming. But he's going to be in communication. So, for everyone else's benefit, I expect that we will probably start afternoon session about 1:30. That's an estimate, assuming we are relatively close to the schedule in terms of our jury meeting. Because once we get back, there's time for the jurors to have lunch, and then we'll work through the afternoon for whatever number of hours and see where we go. All right, I think I've handled everything for this today, and nothing else then, we'll be in recess. Thank you.
Okay, so that is the end of day 3. Um, I'm still not convinced that he was reckless in this. Um, there's a whole lot of reasonable doubt. I mean, the officer that just testified said that at dusk, when it's starting to get dark, he was going 45. During the day, George was going, what, 47, I think it was? Hmm. One of the officers today said that it didn't appear that George was confused or dazed. Um, but one of the clips, I think it was clip 3 of Pino, George, that in my opinion, he looked like he was dazed and confused. Like, what's happening? What happened? He did look confused and dazed. Um, I've not done outside research on this, and I will not. I will probably watch Defense Diaries um, after the trial is over um, to see if I'm on the same viewpoint. I don't know, right? I'm going into this and I'm staying in this as a juror. So I'm not going to do any outside research. I'm just going to watch what is provided in court. So, yeah, that's what we're doing. I think court starts at 9:30 Eastern. I'm in Central, so that would be 8:30 my time. We'll probably give some wiggle room. I'm thinking along the lines of probably same time, 9:30, 10 o'clock tomorrow. That way we can listen at the 1.25 speed or whatever, um, and have room to zoom through lunch. Um, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna continue following this. I do appreciate y'all watching. Give me a thumbs up, like the stream, subscribe. I am on Locals, of course, Rumble and YouTube. So give me a follow and subscribe, and we'll see y'all back tomorrow. Have a good night.